Hello. All right, so the long awaited for by me, by moi. So for me, this has been a long time coming because of the project that I have been working on, which is my book. Um, and the next section that I am about to go into is everything that I have learned about the African American so called colored, so called Negro um, people being the real Jews. And so this is a culmination of everything that I have learned um, over a decade now. Um, because we're in January of 2025, so the new year, according to man, not me, not the Most High, but according to man, we're in a new year. So yeah, 2025. Uh, like I said, I started this journey. Well, I originally started this journey in around 2012, 2013, and so I started learning about the music industry, Hollywood, the Illuminati, stuff like that. Government corruption, um, 9/11 inside job, stuff like that, and it just sent me down this rabbit hole, and I stumbled across two videos. I always say this, like I stumbled across two videos that changed my entire perspective on why we as a people, and whether you want to claim you indigenous, which is we was here, we was already here, jumping ahead of myself, but King Solomon had a naval fleet. So our people knew about this land. So yes, our people was here. That's how the Olmecs and all of them, that's how they were here. But even the natives, they were darker than me. So, yes, we were here. I never deny that. But to those brothers, you can never deny those slave ships. And, us coming from Africa over to here, and the different slave trades that took part over in the so-called Middle East of Africa, because that's what it is. It's the Middle East of Africa. Prior to what, the 1800s, or even before that Suez Canal was built, there was no such thing called a Middle East. But to those brothers, you can never deny our people coming over here on slave ships. You can never deny Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68, which is, I will go into that. But anyway, I started learning uh, about the truth. That's what it's called, the truth. And I grew up in a Christian church all my life. Come from a long line of pastors. My grandfather started his own church and soup kitchen ministry, still running to this day. I have no affiliation with them. I am my own entity, so have no affiliation with them at all. But my grandfather started his own church, his own soup kitchen ministry, and he, gave back to the poor. After he passed away, my uncle took over, and today my father is running the church. So come from a long line of pastors, not just my grandfather's lineage. I have uncles, and then even on my mom's side, I have numerous pastors, deacons, um, and so I could never, discount what I learned from my my pastor. I feel like he gave me what he gave me what he knew, and it was up to me to take it and learn. As a child, I feel like, you know, the seeds were planted within me, and it was up for me to nurture them and, make sure I have a ripe harvest. And I believe that I have done such that. Started out in a Christian church, and I just felt like it was more. Like it's more to this than going to church on Sunday, and then I see all the evilness from the people that's supposed to be so holier than thou. I see their evilness, man, the backbiting, and it's not even, back then it wasn't even about like doctrine or anything like that. It was just about the way people treated each other. And it still is today. But now that I know doctrine, now that I know scripture, it's about that too. And that's what I do use. I use scripture, history, archaeology, little science. I use everything. Um, I already told this in the last chapter of my book, which is you can read that on my page. But I already talked about pretty much how I came into the truth. I was really at a low point in my life. This is before I moved to where I am now. And I was in between a former friend of mine's and my grandmother's home mostly. And one day, I don't know, I just pulled out the Bible and I started reading it. I just started reading the Bible. And um, when I read that Exodus, chapter, and then going into when I read that Exodus chapter, when I read how Moses brought these people out of Egypt by way of the Most High, um, who I call Ahia Ashar Ahia, because that's the name that he gave Moses at the burning bush, Exodus 3, verse 14, King James Version. They gave you the meaning of his name. They didn't give you his name. Like, for instance, my name is John in English, but in Hebrew, my name is Yakana. And the meaning of that is a gift from God. So, if it was my name in Exodus 3 and 14, it would say, tell them, I am a gift of God sent you, instead of telling you that my name is either John or Yakana. So they didn't give you his name, they gave you the meaning of his name. But Ahia Shar Ahia, that's who I call the Most High. That's Hebrew for I am that I am. But I started pretty much noticing similarities between the people that Moses was leading out of Egypt and black people today. Um, I think it is. I think it's either in Numbers where they was even saying like when he got them out into the wilderness and stuff like that, they was saying like how they wanted to go back. They wanted to even go back and be under oppression again. The ungratefulness. The ungratefulness. I say this all the time. You can give a bleep $20 and they'll turn around and talk about you like a dog, like you ain't did nothing for them. I mean, that's the spirit of our people today: the backbiting, the backstabbing, um, I mean, especially in even in the family unit. I mean, you know, the Most High turned their sister white. You know, he turned her white as snow because she was ready to go against him. So I just started noticing similarities between. I'm like, man, in the scriptures, they just started speaking to me, yo. Like, these people, man, they remind me of somebody. They just remind me of somebody, and I'm like, this is us. This is us. And I started going around asking people. Nobody could answer my questions. Like, people think that, people think that I might be mean and stuff now, but I did not start out that way. Mm-mm. I was very nice. I was very humble, and I'm telling you, Christians, especially when they don't know something, they're, it's like they fangs come out, they like wolves. Especially when you just asking a question, they try to belittle you and stuff like that. And so that's how it started out, when I was first starting out. But now that I know what I know and I'm confident in what I know, I don't care. Now it's them, you know, oh, you're being mean and stuff like that. But it's like, you've been this way for years. You sat in a pulpit for years and talked down on not only just, gay people and stuff like that. I mean, you talked down on everybody and made it seem like you was up here, and the admiration that you get, and when Christ is even telling us, the only one that's good is the Father. But you have these men and women like Juanita Bynum that walk around here, and people esteem these people when they are just people. And my goal is to show my people the truth, the history of our people using scripture, archaeology, history, but also the truth about these people who you hold so high and mighty, but yet they not telling you that Christ is black. He will be deemed a Negro today. The Negroes, natives, are the true children of Israel. We are the true Jews. And they're not telling you, I mean, and they flat out lying to you. Tithes is food, it's not money. They're Baptist, Church of Garbage and Crisis, Pentecostal, Apostolic. They are daughters of the Roman Catholic Church, the mother harlot. Most of these religions were started by white men. I'm showing you all of this. This is what I've learned over the years. And I'm just not going to sit silent anymore. For years, I used to write and I would share my lessons and stuff like that. And I did not want to get in front of the camera. Like, I just didn't, and it was like, it was kind of like, well, what the hell do you think he been showing you all of this stuff for? Like, no, I literally heard that. Like, so, when he talked to me, I hear him like some in my voice, unless I felt like, I done did something wrong, then I hear it, I hear his voice. But most of the time he talked to me, and it's like he my friend, but he told me like, well, what the hell do you think I've been showing you this stuff for? Like, not just to write about it, but no, to get out there and be in front of the camera, and it's just like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I don't like attention. I don't, I just, I keep to myself. I'm a solo person. I'm a loner. I stick to myself. I hang by myself. And but I know what I know, and I know a lot. And I know that I have a mission, and that I made an agreement with the Most High. Um, and for me, it's not about views. It's not about clicks. It's not about likes. It's not about any of that. I made an agreement to do this work, to talk about the things that I talk about. And even if I have to stand alone by myself, I'm already used to that. So it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I've learned a lot, and I've researched a lot. I've spent a lot of time researching the things that I know. That's why I can say them so boldly. Not only do I say it, I show it too. And just remember this, I ain't asked you for a dime. I ain't even asked you to hit the like button. I ain't asking for your support. You know, but please don't get it twisted. I greatly appreciate your support. I greatly appreciate your likes. I greatly appreciate the love that you show me, your prayers, your support. I appreciate that. I genuinely do. Um, but I grew up in a church, and I've just seen wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, they want these people to stand in $100 line, the $50 line, the $25 line, the $20 line, the $15 line, the $10 line, the $5 line, and then the general whatever you got line. I've been in church, man, and I've seen this stuff. I talk about this stuff in my lessons, you know, and I bring scriptures to prove everything that I am saying. And so the time has come for me to share what I know, and I have been doing that. So I before I go into any of what I'm about to teach, I want to say thank you. And the people that I'm about to name, I am in no affiliation with. I'm not. I know what's seen about black Hebrews, so I'm going to tell you this. I don't believe in polygamy. Hey, I don't even have no friends. I barely have family. I only keep in contact with 2 people out of my whole family. So, you know, I don't believe in being radical. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. Ain't, you know, none of that here. Uh, yeah, man. I'm I'm just me. You know, I haven't met anybody. I ain't really looking to meet anybody. You know, I'm comfortable. I'm cozy. I'm cozy with, you know, with what I have going on here. Although I know that I'm not an island, uh, but and I do believe in fellowshipping, but that don't mean that I have to be in people's bigs, man. Just not. Um, and I've always been kind of standoffish. I don't know. That's just who I am. So I want to thank the Gathering of Christ Church, and I don't care what these people think about me. It's not about what they think about me. This is just me paying homage, saying thank you. Um, a gathering of Christ Church, uh, Pastor Gino Jennings, Pastor Stephen Darby, Watchman Reports, Sister Deborah Yah. They have a lesson called White It Out. It's a documentary. Man, definitely need to check that out. Who else? Brother Yerushalayim, who I believe, is no longer in the truth, but I still thank him for his wisdom, his work. Brother Chazakariah, this brother is powerful. He's on Facebook. I am going to show you things that he has, and I use people's different things to explain what I am talking about. So to reinforce what I'm talking about, I have a point and I'll grab a source to reinforce what I have said. So that's why I'm giving these people the credit, because I don't want nobody to ever think that, it's just me, no, I've been in this for not as long as these people, but I have been in this for quite some time now by myself. I ain't been in no camp. I'm not looking to get in no camp. But I know what I know. I know what I've learned. And so there's, a lot more people to thank. But those are the main ones who I have really learned from. And if there's any more, throughout the way, then I'll share that. But yeah, man, I'm not in affiliation with anybody that, I've never even spoken to anybody that I've named. So I've just watched, I've learned a lot from them, and I'm grateful for them. I remember when one time I was watching Elder Ricard Shiar, and he was talking about how he when he was younger, he would record the tapes for the people and stuff like that. And man, I remember I used to sit and I used to every word that he would say, I would write it down, man. I never forget when I first I heard them speak, man. I thought Loya was an angel, man. His voice was just something I never heard before. And I follow my intuition. I know when something is right. And they are the truth. They are. No disrespect to any of them. Definitely grateful for them. And like I said, I'm not looking to be accepted. I just want to say thank you. That's it. And so I'm going to go in, and I'm going to start. And so hold on, let me see. I have a little note. So the title of the videos that I'm going to post is going to be Savage Point of View, 424 pages, speaking all that I know about Black people being the real Jews and more. So I'm going to start here. And last but not least, the kings. Hail, hail, the light of Judah, how powerful we are. The so-called African Americans of North America, kings of the nation of Israel. All right, so okay. Oh yeah, so I got a new laptop, y'all. All right. And so, just want to let it be known, I don't solely subscribe to the 12 tribes chart. I do believe that there are remnants of all of the tribes in Africa, but like I said, I do believe that, we migrated over here as well. And I do believe, like, for instance, let me see. I do believe Reuben are the Seminole natives. And that somebody was talking about the Aborigines of Australia. I do believe they are chosen too. You know, I believe that. So Judah can also be found in high number in Brazil and West Africa. Judah will be praised based on the fact that the Lord and Savior of Israel will come from Judah. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 14. Wherever the chief enemy of Israel is, Judah is present at the neck. An example, America being the head of Edom's power. Judah is at the neck as one of the most successful in athletics, business, inventions, entertainment, etc. This links with the prophecy of Deuteronomy 33, verse 7, which states that the Most High will make his hands sufficient for him. The kingship of the nation of Israel was established with the tribe of Judah and is an everlasting kingship with no end. This is based on the fact that Yeshua is both king and priest after the order of Melchizedek. Acts 2, verses 29 through 30, Psalms 110 and 4, Zechariah chapter 6, verse 13, Hebrews 7, verse 1. Judah is described as being a young lion that has crouched down like an old lion. The big question is who or what will rouse him up? The Western world power structure knows through experience that once Judah rises, the rest of the tribes will come following after. And that's true. So, I don't know if I told you this, but yeah, man, 424 pages. 424 pages of proof that I have that black people are the so-called Jews. So, okay, Judah, Yahweh, so-called Negroes. Revelation 5, verse 5. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Genesis 29, verse 35. And she conceived again, and bare a son. And she said, Now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. Genesis 49, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Genesis 49, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Genesis 49, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Deuteronomy 33, verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. Genesis 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Genesis 49 and 2. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. A note to coloreds, niggers, Negroes, niggas, African Americans, aka the so-called black people. First, I will give you the information from a biblical standpoint on how we, the above people mentioned, fell from kingship and have been reduced down to what we are today. Then I will give you the same information from a historical, scientific perspective. Note, in our black folk community, we have some people that are so stiff-necked they would not believe anything, even if the Father came down here, shook their hand, and told them what I am going to tell you. Then you have some of our people who are so jealous-hearted that if it is not them giving the information or in the spotlight, they do whatever they can to discredit the information being given. Then you have the ones that I really can't stand, the sellouts or selfish mentality people, the ones that say, I'm not doing bad. We got a black president, so how are we still in bondage? They refuse to look at black people as a whole because they too busy focusing on themselves. This information is not for these kind of people. This information is for the people that want to know the truth. It is for all to read, but it is not for all to accept. And that's real. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet let no man strive, nor reprove another. For thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Hosea 4, verses 1 through 6, King James Version. And before I go on, I just want to say, I'm not your pastor. Oh, and I know I'm not your pastor. I'm not your bishop, and I'm not trying to be your bishop either. But my question to you is, why haven't they told you this stuff? So don't be concerned with me trying to be your pastor or bishop. Be concerned with why didn't your pastor or bishop tell you this stuff that I'm about to tell you. And please keep in mind, I've been working on this book since about 2013, 2014. I'm just getting here on video, but I've been here. I'm just getting here, but I've been here. I've been here. Okay, so no, I know that I'm not trying to be your pastor. I'm not trying to be your leader. By biblical standards, I don't meet the requirements to be a pastor. I don't have any kids. You know, that is a requirement. You should have kids because you should be able to speak to all things. So I know what I am. I don't need you to tell me what I am and what I do. I know what I am. I know what I do. I know what I was sent to do. I know my mission. You can't tell me my mission. See, this is me being nice. It's me being nice. So, yeah, to get that out the way. I ain't trying to be a pastor. I ain't trying to take over nobody's church. I ain't trying to, no, that's not what I want. What I want is between me and the Most High. So, as long as He know, as long as I know, we good. But, yeah, I do want to make that clear because, I do get that a lot, people ask me, do I want to be a pastor? No, I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be over no church or anything like that because people have made church into a business today. And so, yeah, I'm just not interested in that. I'm not your leader. I ain't trying to be. I don't even like to wear suits. So, definitely ain't gonna be on that. This is what I just read. The Testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. 1. The copy of the words of Judah, what things he spake to his sons before he died. They gathered themselves together, therefore, and came to him, and he said to them, Hearken, my children, to Judah your father. I was the fourth son born to my father Jacob, and Leah, my mother, named me Judah, saying, I give thanks to the Lord because he hath given me a fourth son also. I was swift in my youth and obedient to my father in everything, and I honored my mother and my mother's sister. And it came to pass when I became a man that my father blessed me, saying, Thou shalt be a king, prospering in all things. And the Lord showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house. I know that I raced a hind and caught it, and prepared the meat for my father, and he did eat. And the roes I used to master in the chase, and overtake all that was in the plains. A wild mare I overtook, and caught it, and tamed it. I slew a lion, and plucked a kid out of its mouth. I took a bear by its paw, and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. I outran the wild boar, and seizing it as I ran, I tore it in sunder. A leopard in Hebron leaped upon my dog, and I caught it by the tail and hurled it on the rocks, and it was broken in twain. I found a wild ox feeding in the fields, and seizing it by the horns, and whirling it round and stunning it, I cast it from me and slew it. And when the two kings of the Canaanites came, sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single handed I rushed upon the king of Hazor and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down, and so I slew him. And the other king of Tapua, as he sat upon his horse, I slew, and so I scattered all his people. Achor the king, a man of giant stature, I found, hurling javelins before and behind as he sat on horseback. And I took up a stone of 60 pounds weight and hurled it and smote his horse and killed it. I fought with this other for 2 hours, and I clave his shield. I clave his shield in twain, and I chopped off his feet and deleted him. And as I was stripping off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with me. This dude was something else. And I wound my garment on my hand, and I slung stones at them, and deleted 4 of them, and the rest fled. Man, who does this sound like? This don't sound like y'all. And Jacob my father slew Beelzath, king of all the kings, a giant in strength, 12 cubits high. And fear fell upon them, and they ceased warring against us. Therefore my father was free from anxiety in the wars when I was with my brethren, for he saw in a vision concerning me that an angel of might followed me everywhere, that I should not be overcome. And in the south there came upon us a greater war than that in Shechem. And I joined in battle array with my brethren, and pursued 1,000 men, and slew of them 200 men, and 4 kings. And I went up on the wall, and I slew 4 mighty men. And so we captured Hazor, and took all the spoil. On the next day we departed to Artan, Artan, a city strong and walled and inaccessible, threatening us with death. But I and Gad approached the east side of the city, and Reuben and Levi on the west. And they that were upon the wall, thinking that we were alone, were drawn down against us. And so my brother secretly climbed up the wall on both sides by stakes, and entered the city, while the men knew it not. And we took it with the edge of the sword. And as for those who had taken refuge in the tower, we set fire to the tower, and took both it and them. And as we were departing, the men of Tapua, that's what I'm calling it, set upon our spoil, and delivering it up to our sons, we fought with them as far as Tapua. And we slew them, and burnt their city, and took as spoil all that was in it. And when I was at the waters of Kozeba, the men of Jobel came against us to battle. And we fought with them, and routed them, and their allies from Shiloh we slew, and we did not leave them power to come in against us. And the men of Machir came upon us the 5th day to seize our spoil, and we attacked them and overcame them in fierce battle. For there was a host of mighty 4 men amongst them, and we slew them before they had gone up the ascent. And when we came to their city, their women rolled upon us stones from the brow of the hill on which the city stood. And I and Simeon hid ourselves behind the town and seized upon the heights and destroyed the city also. Dang, so they was jumping people left and right. And the next day it was told us that the king of the city of Gash with a mighty host was coming against us. I therefore and Dan feigned ourselves to be Amorites, and as allies went into their city. And in the depth of night our brethren came, and we opened to them the gates. And we destroyed all the men and their substance, and we took for a prey all that was theirs, and their 4 walls we cast down. And we drew near to Thamna, where was all the substance of the hostile kings. Then, being insulted by them, I was therefore wroth, and rushed against them to the summit. And they kept slinging against me stones and darts. And had not Dan my brother aided me, they would have slain me. We came upon them therefore with wrath, and they all fled. And passing by another way, they besought my father, and he made peace with them, and we did to them no hurt. And they became tributary to us, and we restored to them their spoil. And I built Thamna, and my father built Pabael. I was 20 years old when this war befell, and the Canaanites feared me and my brethren. And I had much cattle, and I had for chief herdsman Iram the Adulamite. And when I went to him, I saw Parsaba, king of Adullam, and he spake unto us, and he made us a feast. And when I was heated, he gave me his daughter Bathshua to wife. Oh, when he was heated. Oh. Is that where Beyonce got that song Heated from? Just playing. And when I was heated, he gave me his daughter Bathshua to wife. She bare me and Onan and Sheila. Something about that Onan. I remember something about him. And 2 of them the Lord smote, for Sheila lived, and his children are ye. In 18 years my father abode in peace with his brother Esau, and his sons with us. After that, we came from Mesopotamia, from Lebanon. That's like modern day Turkey. And when 18 years were fulfilled, in the 40th year of my life, Esau, the brother of my father, came upon us with a mighty and strong people. And Jacob smote Esau with an arrow, and he was taken up wounded on Mount Seir. And as he went, he died at Ananaram. And we pursued after the sons of Esau. Now they had a city with walls of iron and gates of brass, and we could not enter into it. And we encamped around and besieged it. And when they opened not to us in 20 days, I set up a ladder. Can we please pay attention? Okay, so I call Esau white folks, right? Okay. See, they spirit remember this. They spirit still remember this. That's why they don't like us. They spirit remembers this. I set up a ladder in the sight of all, and with my shield upon my head I went up, sustaining the assault of stones upwards of 3. Let me see. of 3 talents weight, and I slew 4 of their mighty men, and Reuben and Gad slew 6 others. Then they asked from us terms of peace, and having taken counsel with our father, we received them as tributaries. And they gave us 500 cores of wheat, 500 baths of oil, 500 measures of wine, until the famine when we went down into Egypt. See? That's why I love this stuff, because it gives you the backstory on how our people even, got to Egypt. So this stuff all happened before Egypt. When we went down into Egypt. And I guess this is what, chapter 10? And after these things, my son took to wife Tamar from Mesopotamia, a daughter of Aram. Now was wicked, and he was in need concerning Tamar, because she was not of the land of Canaan. And on the 3rd night an angel of the Lord smote him, and he had not known her, according to the evil craftiness of his mother, for he did not wish to have children by her. In the days of the wedding feast I gave Onan to her in marriage, and he also in wickedness knew her not, though he spent with her a year. And when I threatened him, he went in unto her, but he spilled the seed on the ground according to the command of his mother, and he also died through wickedness. That's why I remember, because yeah, that's why, that's why I remember. This happened in Genesis too. This happened in Genesis. I talked about this before. It happened in the early part of Genesis, when the Most High, I think he gave a command to somebody's brother. I think this is the same situation. And the person who the girl was originally with, he had passed away, and then his brother was supposed to go and have children with her, but he did it. He did it, but I mean, he didn't have children when he went. He went and knew her, but he pulled out, and the seed hit the ground, and the Most High took him out. So that's in Genesis. That is in Genesis. Let me see. But he spilled the seed on the ground according to the command of his mother, and he also died through wickedness. And I wished to give Shelah also to her, but his mother did not permit it, for she wrought evil against Tamar, because she was not of the daughters of Canaan, as she also herself was. And I knew that the race of Canaanites was wicked, but the impulse of youth blinded my mind. And when I saw her pouring out wine, owing to the intoxication of wine, I was deceived, and took her, although my father had not counseled it. And while I was away, she went and took for Shelah a wife from Canaan. And when I knew what she had done, I cursed her in the anguish of my soul, and she also died through her wickedness, together with her sons. Seems like they was just as messy back then as it is today. That's why I be getting into this stuff, because it's like, see, in church they try to make you think it's and all of that. So, but it's not. These people was nitty gritty. It was just as messy as it is today. Well, I don't think it is just. I think it was more messier today. But this is pretty bad. Got dudes pulling out. Oh, his pull-out game might have been strong, but you see what happened to him. Let me see if I can find that too. Hold on. So yeah, I knew that that name is, so Genesis 38, Verse 8. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. See? Hold on. And then they go on. So you can go on and read that if you like, but that's just the stuff that what I'm reading right here. That goes to show you it is canon. And I just proved that right here. Genesis 38. I just read something from the Testament of Judah. This is stuff that the Roman Catholic Church removed out of the Bible. You have to look past me. You have to get past me. Your hatred for me, your spite for me, you're going to have to get into this message. It is. I've already proved to you that your 66 books is not the complete Bible with Esther. And the Apocrypha, Esther is continued. The book of Esther is continued. Queen Hadassah. The book of Esther is continued. It starts right at chapter 10, verse 4. But you have in the original Bible, you have in the Bible that you have today, you have Esther 10, and I believe it goes all the way up to verse 3. So, yeah. But, and after these things, while Tamar was a widow, she heard after 2 years that I was going up to shear my sheep, and adorned herself in bridal array, and sat in the city Enaim by the gate, for it was a law of the Amorites that she who was about to marry should sit in fornication 7 days by the gate. Therefore, being drunk with wine, I did not recognize her, and her beauty deceived me through the fashion of her adoring. And I turned aside to her and said, Let me go in unto thee. And she said, What wilt thou give me? And I gave her my staff and my girdle and the diadem of my kingdom in pledge. And I went in unto her, and she conceived. And not knowing what I had done, I wished to slay her, but she privily sent my pledges and put me to shame. When I called her, I heard also the secret words which I spoke when lying with her in my drunkenness. And I could not slay her, because it was from the Lord. For I said, Lest happily she did it in subtlety, having received the pledge from another woman. But I came not again near her while I lived, because I had done this abomination in all Israel. Moreover, they who were in the city said there was no harlot in the gate, because she came from another place, and sat for a while in the gate. And I thought that no one knew that I had gone in to her. And after this we came into Egypt to Joseph because of the famine. And I was 46 years old, and 73 years I lived in Egypt. So, see, he's telling you that he lived in Egypt for 73 years. See? And he's also given a lesson about getting drunk. See, this Judah was the Negro forefather. And what do you see in your neighborhoods today? On damn near every corner, a liquor store. A lot of things happen, sexually that should not happen because people be getting drunk. Going on. And now I command you, my children, hearken to Judah your father, and keep my sayings, to perform all the ordinances of the Lord, and to obey the commands of God, and walk not after your lusts, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts, in haughtiness of heart, and glory not in the deeds and the strength of your youth, for this also is evil in the eyes of the Lord, since I also gloried that in wars no comely woman's face ever enticed me, and reproved Reuben my brother concerning Bilhah, the wife of my father. The spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me, until I lay with Bathshua the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was espoused to my sons. For I said to my father-in-law, I will take counsel with my father, and so will I take thy daughter. And he was unwilling, but he showed me a boundless store of gold in his daughter's behalf, for he was a king. And he adorned her with gold and pearls, and caused her to pour out wine for us at the feast with the beauty of women. And the wine turned aside my eyes, and pleasure blinded my heart, and I became enamored of, and I lay with her, and transgressed the commandment of the Lord and the commandment of my fathers. And I took her to wife, and the Lord rewarded me according to the imagination of my heart, inasmuch as I had no joy in her children. Let me read that again. For those who have ears, let them hear. So, for I said to my father-in-law, I will take counsel with my father, and so will I take thy daughter. And he was unwilling, but he showed me a boundless store of gold, I'm going to say on his daughter's behalf, for he was a king, and he adorned her with gold and pearls, and caused her to pour out wine for us at the feast with the beauty of women. And the wine turned aside my eyes, and pleasure blinded my heart. And I became enamored of, and I lay with her, and transgressed the commandment of the Lord and the commandment of my fathers. And I took her to wife, and the Lord rewarded me. See, when people think, oh, he was rewarded. No, it wasn't a good reward. And the Lord rewarded me according to the imagination of my heart. See, because when he was inebriated and it was all good then, inasmuch I had no joy in her children. I got some uncles, man. I know what I'm talking about. I do. Some men, they regret the woman and the child. So it be like that. And now, my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth, and inspires the passion of lust, and leadeth the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister, to give pleasure to the mind, for these two also take away the mind of man. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heateth the body to carnal union. because I just also talked about this in the Immaculate Conception Deception video. When I talk about when people come together and they have sex, you are marrying this person. Because to the one person's point, um, on paper and legally, we could not get married, so we had to jump the broom, go back in the room, and consummate the marriage. That's a soul tie. You were starting a family with this person, and we might not have been in the best conditions, but it's still there. That soul tie was still made. So that's pretty much what this is saying. And now, my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth, and inspires the passion of lust, and leadeth the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister to give pleasure to the mind. For these two also take away the mind of man. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heateth the body to carnal union. And if the occasion of the lust be present, he worketh the sin, and is not ashamed. Such is the inebriated man, my children. For he who is drunken reverence no man. For lo, it has made me also to err, so that I was not ashamed of the multitude in the city, in that before the eyes of all I turned aside unto Tamar, and I wrought a great sin, and I uncovered the covering of my son's shame. After I had drunk wine, I reverenced not the commandment of the Most High, and I took a woman of Canaan to wife. That was because remember, they wasn't supposed to. They were supposed to not take Canaanites into marriage. They weren't supposed to do that. That was a law. I've also read that too before, and I believe it's in the Immaculate Conception Deception. So you can check that out. For much discretion needeth the man who drinketh wine, my children, and herein is discretion in drinking wine. A man may drink so long as he preserveth modesty, but if he go beyond this limit, the spirit of deceit attacketh his mind, and it maketh the drunkard to talk filthily, and to transgress, and not to be ashamed. Is that not what alcohol does? But even to glory in his shame, and to account himself honorable. He that committeth fornication is not aware when he suffers loss, and is not ashamed when put to dishonor. For even though a man be a king and commit fornication, he is stripped of his kingship by becoming the slave of fornication, as I myself also suffered. For I gave my staff, that is the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is my power, and my diadem, that is the glory of my kingdom. And indeed I repented of these things. Wine and flesh I eat not until my old age, nor did I behold any joy. And the angel of God showed me that forever do women bear rule over king and beggar alike. And from the king they take away his glory, and from the valiant man his might, and from the beggar even that little which is the stay, even that little which is the stay of his poverty. Observe therefore, my children, the rights. Observe therefore, my children, the rights limit in wine, for there are in it 4 evil spirits of lust, of hot desire, of profligacy, of filthy lucre. If ye drink wine and gladness, be ye modest in the fear of God. For if in your gladness the fear of God departeth, then drunkenness ariseth, and shamelessness stealeth in. But if ye will live soberly, do not touch wine at all, lest ye sin in words of outrage, and in fightings, and slanders, and transgressions of the commandments of God. Does this not happen? I mean, people begin throwing it back, in the clubs and all of that. Does this not happen? I mean, but if you will live soberly, do not touch wine at all, lest ye sin in words of outrage, and in fightings and slanders and transgressions of the commandments of God, and ye perish before your time. Now, do you see why they took this out? See, what if they left this in, and the pastors will be teaching this, even though they teaching in the church that this is done away with. We don't got to follow this because this is not canon. That's what they say, but they liars. They was lied to by their seminary theologian teachers. Nothing but liars. But, man, my God. And ye perish before your time. How many times does that happen? Because of alcohol. Moreover, wine revealeth the mysteries of God and man, even as I also revealed the commandments of God and the mysteries of Jacob my father to the Canaanite woman Bathsheba, which God bade me not to reveal. Pillow talking. Ain't that's what that is? That's pillow talking. You out here with laying with these people you ain't got no business with. Pillow talking, running your mouth, giving them the keys to your kingdom, especially if you have a partner. But you out here sleeping with these and you giving these people the keys. That's what happened to him. This woman Bathsheba, see, he thought he was going to embarrass her, but she in turn embarrassed him. Remember when I just read that he gave her his staff and she showed all of that stuff. I just read it. She showed all of that stuff to the people. She embarrassed him, just like women do today. This stuff there's nothing new under the sun, people. This is still happening. This is still happening. With these prominent men, when they hire these escorts, men or women. And then, next thing you know, they releasing the tape. They're releasing something. Here it is. Right here. What's going on? Still going on. Maybe this one. No. I was going to say, maybe that's why they don't want to, so these black pastors can continue to cheat on their wives and stuff. Not saying that all of them do, but a lot of them do. But yeah, he was pillow talking. And ye perish before your time. Moreover, wine revealeth the mysteries of God and man, even as I also revealed the commandments of God and the mysteries of Jacob, my father, to the Canaanite woman Bathsheba, which God bade me not to reveal. And wine is a cause both of war and confusion. And now I command you, my children, not to love money, nor to gaze upon the beauty of women, because for the sake of money and beauty I was led astray to Bathsheba the Canaanite. For I know that because of these two things shall my race fall into wickedness. For I know that because of these two things shall my race fall into wickedness. For even wise men among my sons shall they mar and shall cause the kingdom of Judah to be diminished, which the Lord gave me because of my obedience to my father. For I never caused grief to Jacob, my father, for all things whatsoever he commanded I did. And Isaac, the father of my father, blessed me to be king in Israel. And Jacob further blessed me in like manner. And I know that from me shall the kingdom be established. And that's true. And I know what evils ye will do in the last days. Beware therefore, my children, of fornication and the love of money, and hearken to Judah your father, for these things will draw you from the law of God, and blind the inclination of the soul, and teach us arrogance, ego, and suffer not a man to have compassion upon his neighbor. They rob his soul of all goodness, and oppress him with toils and troubles, and drive away sleep from him, and devour his flesh. Could this be talking about? Because I don't know, because I am up at 2:36 a.m. on January 5th reading this to y'all, I don't know. But no. And drive away sleep from him, and devour his flesh, and he hindereth the sacrifices of God, and he remembereth not the blessings of God, and he hearkeneth not to a prophet when he speaketh, and resenteth the words of godliness, for he is a slave to two contrary passions, and cannot obey God, because they have blinded his soul, and he walketh in the day as in the night. My children, the love of money leadeth to idolatry, because when led astray through money, men name as gods those who are not gods, and it causeth him who hath it to fall into madness. For the sake of money I lost my children, and had not my repentance and my humiliation and the prayers of my father been accepted, I should have died childless. But the God of my fathers had mercy on me, because I did it in ignorance. Isn't that grace? See, that was grace. I always say grace been around for a long time, because you got to think about it. Adam and Eve sinned, right? But the Most High didn't take their life. He might have banished them, but he didn't take their life. He didn't take away their lineage. He didn't take away, yeah, he banished them. They did wrong. They was wrong. But they still lived, and that's grace. But the God of my fathers had mercy on me, because I did it in ignorance, and the prince of deceit blinded me, and I sinned as a man, and as flesh being corrupted through sins, and I learned my own weakness while thinking myself invincible. Know, therefore, my children, that two spirits wait upon man, the spirit of truth and the spirit of deceit. That's so true. And in the midst is the spirit of understanding of the mind, to which it belongeth to turn whithersoever it will. And the works of truth and the works of deceit are written upon the hearts of men, and each one of them the Lord knoweth. And there is no time at which the works of man can be hid, for on the heart itself have they been written down before the Lord, and the Spirit of truth testifieth all things, and accuseth all, and the sinner is burnt up by his own heart, and cannot raise his face to the judge. And now, my children, I command you, love Levi, that ye may abide, and exalt not yourselves against him, lest ye be utterly destroyed. For to me the Lord gave the kingdom, and to him the priesthood. And he set the kingdom beneath the priesthood. To me he gave the things upon the earth, to him the things in the heavens. As the heaven is higher than the earth, so is the priesthood of the Most High higher than the earthly kingdom. unless it falls away through sin from the Lord and is dominated by the earthly kingdom. For the angel of the Lord said unto me, The Lord chose him rather than thee to draw near to him, and to eat of his table, and to offer him the first fruits of the choice things of the sons of Israel. But thou shalt be king of Jacob, and thou shalt be amongst them as the sea. For as on the sea just and unjust are tossed about, some taken into captivity, while some are enriched, so also shall every race of men be in thee. Some shall be impoverished, being taken captive, and others grow rich by plundering the possessions of others. Who that sound like? For the king shall be as sea monsters, they shall swallow men like fishes. The sons and daughters of free men shall they enslave. Houses, lands, flocks, money shall they plunder, and with the flesh of many shall they wrongfully feed the ravens and the cranes. Think about the transatlantic slave trade, and the bodies and the blood trails were so thick sharks used to follow the boats. And they shall advance in evil and covetousness uplifted, and there shall be false prophets like tempests, and they shall persecute all righteous men. And the Lord shall bring upon them divisions one against another, and there shall be continual wars in Israel, and among men of another race shall my kingdom be brought to an end. And among men of another race shall my kingdom be brought to an end, until the salvation of Israel shall come, until the appearing of the God of righteousness, that Jacob and all the Gentiles may rest in peace. And he shall guard the might of my kingdom forever. For the Lord sware to me with an oath that he will not destroy the kingdom from my seed forever. Now I have much grief, my children, because of your lewdness and witchcrafts and idolatries which ye shall practice against the kingdom, following them that have familiar spirits, diviners, and demons of error. Ye shall make your daughters singing girls. Ooh. Ye shall make your daughters singing girls and harlots, and ye shall mingle in the abomination of the Gentiles, for which things sake the Lord shall bring upon you famine and pestilence, death and the sword. Be beleaguering by enemies, and revilings of friends, the slaughter of children and the rape of wives, the plundering of possessions, the burning of the temple of God, the laying waste of the land, the enslavement of yourselves among the Gentiles. And they shall make some of you eunuchs for their wives, until the Lord visit you when with perfect heart ye repent and walk in all his commandments, and he bring you up from captivity among the Gentiles. And after these things shall a star arise to you from Jacob in peace, and a man shall arise from my seed, like the Son of Righteousness, walking with the sons of men in meekness and righteousness, and no sin shall be found in him. And the heavens shall be open unto him to pour out the Spirit, even the blessings of the Holy Father. And he shall pour out the Spirit of grace upon you, and ye shall be unto him sons in the truth, and ye shall walk in his commandments first and last. The branch of God Most High, and this fountain giving life unto all. Then shall the scepter of my kingdom shine forth, and from your root shall arise a stem, and from it shall grow a rod of righteousness to the Gentiles, to judge and to save all that call upon the Lord. And after these things shall Abraham and Isaac and Jacob arise unto life, and I and my brethren shall be chiefs of the tribes of Israel. Levi first, Isaac and Joseph third, Benjamin fourth, Simeon fifth, Issachar sixth, and so on in order. And the Lord blessed Levi and the angel of the presence, me, the powers of glory, Simeon, the heaven, Reuben, the earth, Issachar, the sea, Zebulun, the mountains, Joseph, the tabernacle, Benjamin, the luminaries, Dan, Eden, Naphtali, the sun, Gad, the moon, Asher. So Gad, the sun, Gad has a son, wow, and the moon, Asher. And ye shall be the people of the Lord and have one tongue, Hebrew. It's going to be Hebrew. And there shall be there no spirit of deceit of Beliar, for he shall be cast into the fire forever. And they who have died in grief shall arise in joy, and they who were poor for the Lord's sake shall be made rich, and they who are put to death for the Lord's sake shall awake to life. And the hearts of Jacob shall run in joyfulness, and the eagles of Israel shall fly in gladness, and all the people shall glorify the Lord forever. Observe, therefore, my children, all the law of the Lord, for there is hope for all them who hold fast unto his ways. And he said to them, Behold, I die before your eyes this day, 119 years old. Let no one bury me in costly apparel, nor tear open my bowels, for this shall they who are kings do, and carry me up to Hebron with you. And Judah, when he said these things, fell asleep, and his sons did according to all whatsoever he commanded them, and they buried him in Hebron with his fathers. So he didn't want to be embalmed. He didn't want to be embalmed. I'm going to show y'all what I just read. Of course. In one moment. Okay. You can pause this and read it if you like.
These are just different pictures.
All right, y'all. So I am going to hit it because it's 2:53 in the morning. I gotta be at work at 11. So yeah. So I'm just gonna be reading, as I go. It's kind of informal because I always like to say that I'm like that cool substitute teacher. I'm very unorthodox. You know, I'm like that cool substitute teacher that, that came to class and we had a ball. I'm not, I am a teacher, but, I ain't trying to be your pastor or your leader or anything like that. But I know these scriptures and I know the work that I have done um, is 100% factual. So, and I put a lot of time and effort into this. And so I'm going to do what I was called to do. And once again, like I said, I do thank you for your time, your support. It's going to be much more to come. I know that this is probably going to start out as boring or whatever. And most of my stuff, hey, this is what I'm into. Some people are into the ballroom scene. Some people are into going to a building and, sitting for 12 hours, and doesn't really count for anything. This counts. This counts. To me, to the Most High, to our people, this counts. When I learned the truth, this gave me a sense of pride. Like I said, when I was learning, when I opened up the Bible and I started reading, I quickly came to the conclusion like, this is us. This has to be us because we still act like this to this day. But over time and learning everything that I've learned, it gave me a pride that I don't know. The real pride, you know. Just proud of knowing who I am. Proud that I can finally piece, you know, two and two together and not end up with 75 like they do on Sunday. Now I can sit up and answer, uh, when did Christ rise? You know, these people still can't answer how they got 3 days and 3 nights from Friday to Sunday. So I know what I know. But just because I know what I know, it don't make me better than anybody. You know, um, I don't. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm shown that every day, with my struggles, because through many trials and tribulations we enter into the kingdom. So nothing's been given to me. This ain't been no cakewalk. So, yeah, this is what I'm going to be focused on. This is what I'm going to be centered on. You know, can't really have no music or nothing like that because, I mean, YouTube, they strike down everything. Okay? And I'm just now being able to post on TikTok. You know, and for a while, even though I be seeing other people, use profanity and stuff like that, they ain't doing nothing to them. They will mute my stuff in a minute. So I got tired of that. But now I am posting on TikTok. I don't know what they're going to do with it or, what's going to happen. But I said, any way that I can get my messages out, that's what I'm going to do. I'm on Facebook. You can look me up, Yakana Savage or Fitzgerald Savage 2, Roman numeral 2. Instagram, uh, what is my Instagram? Yakana Savage. Yep, Yakana Savage for that. And my YouTube channel, Magic Doesn't Work on Me. I forget what my TikTok is called because I barely be on there. And then even on my Facebook, like I don't have the Messenger app, the Messenger portion. I don't even have it downloaded. Um, and I've said it before, I post my videos to Instagram and they automatically go over onto my Facebook. I don't really keep up with Facebook like that. I mean, I will if I get notifications and stuff like that, but so yeah, I do thank you for your time and taking this journey with me. Like I said, I know that it's not gonna be Maury or First 48. I'm not here to tell you who your baby daddy is or who he is not. You know, so this stuff is important, but it's not Maury. It's not the First 48. It's not Bigo. It's not these apps. It's not the now that's TV or Zeus Network. It's not none of that. So, and I think it's a good thing because it's for the people that really want to learn something, that's really going to sit and listen. And my content is authentic. I'm in my home. I'm using my phone. I don't have no mic. I don't got no fancy equipment or nothing like that. I'm a brother that works a 9 to 5. I'm a manager at my job. So I do want to thank you, and I hope you have a blessed day, blessed night, blessed morning, whatever you want to call it, because it's 3 o'clock here. So, pray, and then I am going to, I'm going to eat me some tacos, because I made tacos. Well, actually, I fried some chicken, and I made some tacos. So, I'm going to go eat my tacos, and then I don't snore, but you don't need to know that. Bye.